Hey everyone, Namaste, and welcome to the 16th episode of Yoga Shakti with me, Shailaja Menon, here on Anand Tv. Now, I want to thank you all for having been on this yoga journey with me. Now, today I'm just going to explore a concept called Tanu, which is thinning or letting go. Now, I'm sure most of you have come across this term letting go, and I think it's really one of the most used words and posts on either Facebook or Instagram. You're always reading all these posts that say let go, let go. But then nobody actually tells you how to do that. How do you let go something that consumes your mind, your every waking moment, that runs in your mind in a very compulsive manner, like a broken tape recorder over and over again? Now, the path that yoga prescribes is the conscious shifting of our attention to whatever that works in our lives, to whatever is present in front of us. And that is how we make that shift from being consumed by the past and really being present and appreciating what is there in front of us. Now, wherever our attention goes, our energy flows. So there is this beautiful line in the yoga scriptures that says, Yatho mana tata prana. Yeah, so whatever we choose to train our attention on, that over a period of time, through the constant channeling of our energy, will definitely take root and blossom into something beautiful in our lives. So, wherever you may be, and whatever you may be struggling to let go in your lives, maybe it's the end of a relationship, or maybe it's the loss of a job, or a loss of a loved one, whatever you may be struggling with, just consciously think about three things in your life that are working and that are positive and uplifting, and choose to consciously train your attention on them. And know that as you consciously train your attention, your energy flows towards that, making it blossom and take root in your life. And in our yoga practice, we practice this by consciously training our mind to our body and our breath, right? So that way we block out everything else that is disturbing our minds and just consciously focus on the body and the breath. Namaste. So let's get started. In today's episode, I'm going to continue with the hip opening that we began last episode. So, to begin with, we're going to start with what must be quite a familiar asana for you all. We've done it in other episodes called Baddha Konasana. Yeah, so for Baddha Konasana, you have to try to bring the soles of your feet together, right? And then you try to get the heels to come back, yeah, as much as possible towards the pelvis, right? And then, if like your hips are not open and your knees are really high, you can always sit on a block or a rolled towel, right? So, use the props to help you be more comfortable. Try to sit here and then try to lean forward a little bit. Yeah, so always it's in the leaning forward that we're able to get a deeper intensity to the stretch. Yeah, so I'm just going to turn to the side so you can just see. And also, when you lean forward, try and not round the spine. Yeah, so you really have to move here a little bit forward and back and really try to find the front of your sit bone. Yeah, so once you can find the front of your sit bone, then the forward bend comes, reasonably easy. But otherwise, if you're always at the back of the sit bone, then our spine is rounded and then we're always trying to do something like this. Yeah, so in the beginning, never mind about stretching your hands, just lean forward and back and really connect to that whole area, right? So initially, we're not even familiar what is the front of the sit bone, what is the back of the sit bone, right? So you got to spend some time and you got to give it some attention, right? Like we talked about earlier, wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. So as you keep bringing your attention to all of these areas, right, then your awareness of these areas increases, and also your ability to work with these areas also increase. Yeah, so bring your hands forward, like try to find your best position. So wherever you are is good, right? So you can even be sitting here, that's fine. right? Find your point. The whole beauty of yoga practice is that it is a manner through which you connect to your own body. Yeah, so it's not about connecting to my body or to anybody else who's practicing with you. It is about really exploring your body and just doing what is right for your body at this point in time, right? So for me, I can go slightly more forward and just hold it here for a bit. Just focus on your breath. Just take 5 breaths, inhale and exhale. And slowly coming back up. Okay, try to keep the spine long. And I'm just going to come back forward just to show you how I place my feet. Yeah. So from here, earlier both the feet were together. Now I'm just going to bring my right foot forward. Yeah. So that the heel of the right foot continues to be along the midline of the body. Yeah, so just maintain this. This kind of opens your hip out a little bit more. And then as you come forward, you can come to a really deep stretch. Yeah, so just coming forward and just stay here. So even if you're just here, that's fine. Just explore your body as you inhale and exhale. Just feeling that opening along your hips and use your breath. Yeah, your breath is really one of the greatest tools that you have to explore your body, to work with your body and your mind. So as you inhale, just arch your spine. As you exhale, fold deeper. Inhale, just arch your spine. As you exhale, fold deeper. Inhale, just arch your spine. As you exhale, fold deeper. And just hold it here. Again, 5 breaths. And slowly coming back and just changing legs. Yeah, so I'm bringing my right heel in and then my left leg goes out. So the orientation of the heel is the same in line with the mid heel of the midline of the body. And then lengthen through your spine here. So even here, since I'm planning to come forward, I really have to find that front of my sit bone, right? And then from here, I just come forward. Wherever it is good. Yeah, so just staying here as you inhale and exhale. Just feeling that deep opening along the left hip and finding your best point and slowly coming back up. Yeah, so for the next position, we're still doing Baddha Konasana, just that it's a different variation. Yeah. So earlier the heels were very close to your body, right? So this was our first variation. Now the heels are going away from the body. Yeah, so just move it slightly away. The further away it goes, the deeper is the opening. So don't take it too far back. Just take it slightly away from the pelvis. And then from here, again, just try to find that opening in your hips. Just inhale and exhale, just coming forward, finding that beautiful pelvic tilt each time you come forward, getting a deeper opening and exhale and going back. So I'll just sit sideways, then you can see where my legs are and how it is slightly away from my body, right? And then just connect to the spine again. So see the spine is long, so make sure you're not rounding your spine here, right? So keep your spine long, right? Exhale fully, just find your best position and stay here for 5 breaths. Okay, so wherever you are is okay. Even if you're here, it's fine. Even if you're here, it's fine, right? Just stay with what is right for your body. And slowly coming back up. Now I'm just going to go into a position called Gomukasan, right? So here also your right knee will go above the left. Now you're trying to stack your knees, yeah, one on top of the other. right? So we did another, I think, a lying down variation of this in the last episode, but this is the seated variation of Gomukasan. Yeah. So just staying here, spine lifted, shoulders roll back, inhale and exhale, and slowly beginning to lean forward, bringing the hands forward and stay. 5 breaths. And slowly coming back, and we're changing, right? So try to bring the left knee on top of the right. So again, it may not stack up, in a line. If your hips are not quite open, it may be a bit like that. So wherever you are is fine, right? Just do your best, right? And then again, you might find that if I'm bringing my left knee on top, my left hip might tend to lift up. Yeah, so try to ground through both the hips. Try to make sure you're sitting evenly. Just feel both the hips grounding. Just close your eyes, focus on your breath. Inhale and exhale. And slowly coming forward to increase the intensity of the position. So you can bring your arms forward. That gives a beautiful length to your spine as well. Right, so just stay here and breathe. Inhale and exhale. And slowly coming back and release your legs here. Okay, so we're just going to go into some standing postures. The first one is Prasarita Padottanasana, for which I'm going to be sideways so you can actually see the spine move. Yeah, so I'm just going to take one step out. My feet are apart, inner edges of the feet parallel to each other, toes pointing straight forward. And from here, I'm going to lower my hands to the floor. Yeah, so I bring it slightly forward so that my shoulders and wrists are in line. And from here, inhale, arch my spine and look up. Yeah, and as you exhale, round your spine, look down. Inhale, arch your spine, look up. Exhale, round your spine, look down. Inhale, arch your spine, look up. Exhale, round your spine, look down. And from here, we're just going into another position that really opens the hips. So take your toes out. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm rotating my toes out to the side, allowing my hips to sink back and just stay here. Yeah, so just staying here. 5 breaths, inhale and exhale. Just feel that deep stretch along your inner thigh muscles. Feel that opening at the hips. Okay, slowly inhale and rising up. And then from here, slowly come up. And I'm just changing my position so you can see quite clearly. Yeah, so as you exhale, just lower down. Inhale and rising up. And this round, if you feel comfortable, you can just bend your elbows a little bit so you get a deeper fold. Okay, so maybe this might not be possible. Maybe even to get your hands to the floor may be a struggle, right? So if it's a struggle, just use blocks. But I'm just showing you the possibilities of this position, what all you can do. So just exhaling and fold deep and just stay here. Focus on your breath. And as you exhale again, so the toes are rotating out to the side as much as possible, right? Hips are sinking down and just look forward. Yeah, holding well. Focus on your breath. Inhale and exhale. 5 breaths. and rising up. And this time, if you feel really more adventurous, you can try to release your forearms to the floor. Okay, like I said, again, this might not be accessible to many of you, but just doing your best, just exploring the possibilities. And again, as you go down, you can rotate your hips and knees out, thighs sinking low, hips sinking low. Focus on your breath. Inhale and exhale, feeling that deep rotation at the hips. And slowly bring the toes back as you straighten your legs and then slowly come up. Inhale and rising up and exhale. Right, for this next position, just take your right leg out to the right, and as you exhale, just sitting down towards the right and your left toes coming up. Yeah, so try to keep that knee pointing out, toes stretching up, and from here just moving to the opposite side. Yeah, so when you come up, toes point forward, and then as you go to the side, rotate the left toes to the left, knee and heel in line, and lift the right toes up. Feeling that deep release along your inner thighs. And coming up. Again, one more round here. Take your right toes to the right. Make sure your knee and heel are in one line. Lift the left toes up, sinking the hip down. And coming up. Going the opposite side. Left toes to the left. Right heel coming up. And inhale and rising up. And this last round, see if you can sit down all the way. Yeah, so just keeping your hands forward and feeling that deep, deep release along the left thigh muscles. And if you feel a bit more adventurous, you can release your hand to the side, just open your shoulder and just look up. And if you still feel good, you can take your arm over and continue to look up. Inhale and rising up and coming up, working in the opposite side. Sit down completely, feeling that deep stretch along the right inner thigh. And then working towards the opposite side. So just open your chest. And finally lift the arm up, rotate. Continue to look up. And inhale and rising up. And coming back into Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, arch your spine. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale and rising up. And as you exhale, just step back. Okay, so come on to your hands and knees. And from here, we're moving into down dog. So all of you should be quite familiar with down dog now. So keep your knees bent, move your hips back, right? And then slowly release your heels. So just staying here for a few seconds, just feel the whole of your body, especially the back, lengthen, open. Okay, and then just step your right leg forward and left knee to the floor. Okay, but as you come here, because we're working on the hip as well, besides the hip flexor, so this lunge position is a beautiful position to open the hips. Yeah, this lengthens that left hip flexor. But we're also going to work through the right side. So you're going to take that right knee out to the right. Yeah, so that you can see my foot also lifting. And then we're just going to come to that little side, the little toe side of the foot, and hold it here. Yeah, so just you can keep your hand on your knee, just push the knee out to the side, sink the left hip all the while, and just hold it here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release both hands to the floor. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can just release your forearms down to the floor. Yeah, but my knee continues to open to the side, right? So it's not so clear on this side, but the left side, the other side should be a lot more clearer, right? So just holding here, focus on your breath, inhale and exhale. Okay, and then slowly rising up and working in the opposite direction. So take your right leg back, step the left leg forward, yeah, and then drop that right knee to the floor and foot going back. So now that right hip flexor gets a beautiful opening. And then, like I said earlier, we're going to work the left side as well. So just pressing that left knee out to the side. And then you can see my foot as well, that inner edge of my left foot lifts as well. Just holding here. Focus on your breath. Inhale and exhale. Okay, and then if you want to go deeper here, you can release your forearms to the floor, but that knee continues to go out. Yeah, you can see my left knee opening. So you should know there's not just the knee, it's also your hip that opens out. And just hold it here. Yeah, focus on your breath as you inhale and exhale. Okay, and then if this is really uncomfortable, you don't have to come down. Yeah? You can just stay here, right? But just keep that knee going out to the side. Okay, and then slowly rising up. Okay, step back with your leg. Now we are going to go into Kapotasana. So bring the right leg forward. So this is a very classical hip opening position. Just try to bring the heel forward. Yeah, so as much as possible, we try to get this shin parallel to the front of the mat, right? But if our hips are not so open, we may be sitting like this. Then you bring your heel in, right? Then it's kind of easier to square your hips. So if you feel like you're sitting, just completely lopsided on your right hips, right? Then you just bring your heel in and try to find that lift in your spine and stay here, right? But if you feel like your hips are open and you want to do more, right? So even further down, you can watch these videos as your practice progresses, right? And then you can try to do a little bit more each time. So I'm just taking my heel out just to show you how it's supposed to look, right? With this leg parallel to the front edge of the mat, right? And then if you can see, my hip also is lifted a little bit now. So I'm going to just try to square that a bit so that my left thigh is grounding firmly into the floor, right? And then from here, I try to lift as much as I can, right? So that kind of gives a beautiful opening to the spine as well. And just stay here. So this is a very classical position, Ekapada Kapotasana, or the pigeon pose. And from here, we're going to move. So you just step back through that right leg, bring the left knee forward, and similarly work. Yeah, so initially just keep the heel coming in, and then just see how you feel, right? Are you able to ground through the hips? Is your right thigh grounding or lifting? So just exploring your body, right? And then if you think like you want to do more, just take the leg out so that this left shin is parallel to the edge of the mat, right? And then just shifting weight so that that right thigh, the front of your right thigh grounds firmly into the mat as well, right? And then just working on lifting up a bit. So draw back through your shoulders, heart open, chest open. Okay, and slowly release. Okay, so we're going into the last position, which is a twist. But we begin with another classical forward bend, which is Janu Shirsasan, for which you bend the right knee and then you rotate the hip so that the sole of your right foot comes into your left inner thigh, right? And then square your hips a bit. So whichever leg is extended, that hip tends to be forward. So square your hip, drawing back through the left hip. And then as you inhale, lift the arms up. As you exhale, just coming forward. Yeah, and then from here, just focus on your breath as you inhale and exhale, finding that beautiful deep pelvic tilt, feeling that deep release along the back of your left leg, the hamstrings, the back of the knees, the calves. And from here, you're just going to work into a twist, yeah? So you can come up a bit if it will help you, but take your right arm across, take your left hand to the side, and then just twist back. Keep that whole left side of your body, the left shoulder, the left side of your chest, the left side of your abdomen, all of that twisting back. And slowly inhale and coming forward, straighten the leg, right? Working on the other side. So bend the left knee. So again, I have to draw back through my right hip so that I am squared. And as I inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, coming forward, and a deep fold over the right leg. So just staying here for a bit as you inhale and exhale. And coming up a bit to go into the twist. So take your left hand across, the right hand goes back. So it's not just the hand, it's the right side of your shoulder, the right side of your rib cage, the right side of your abdomen, all of it looks back. And slowly coming forward, straighten the legs. So we're at the end of this beautiful episode, working with the hips. I think I will go into one more episode for the hips, the next one. I really hope you are enjoying these sessions and do remember to focus on what is working in your life. Yeah, the human mind is such that it only tends to focus on the negatives. So when you're consciously trying to lift your energy, when you're consciously trying to get your mind to a better place, right, we have to really consciously again focus on the good stuff in our life, the people who are there right in front of us, the aspects of our life that are growing and expanding, and of course, everybody in our lives that love us and support us and cheer us on, right? So remember, the key to letting go is to shift your focus on what's working and positive in your life. Namaste.